Welcome to the Family History Foundation. I am Franklin. You can find us at familyhistoryfoundation.com. And this is Cloud Storage for Genealogists. The 5 best tools to preserve your family memories. Now, this is kind of a really cool topic because there's so much involved, so much to think about. Because family history isn't just found in dusty books or in attic boxes anymore, okay? We've reached the digital age and sharing is caring. And today, it lives in pixels, gigabytes, and cloud servers. And sometimes maybe we're not always comfortable with those concepts about oversharing, right? But as genealogists, we're entrusted with safeguarding generations of stories, documents, and photos, and that means embracing modern tools that make preservation not only possible but powerful. Okay, so these are some tips that I have that I use and I'm going to share with you guys. So, this is all about cloud storage for genealogists, and this has emerged as one of the most practical and emotional lifelines for keeping those memories alive, not just for us, for those future generations. And I always think back to the people that gave me the gift of genealogy. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have what I have right now. So I always think about what can I pass on, because there are people out there right now, maybe you, and you can sort of relate to this, where it's like, yeah, there's somebody that can really benefit from keeping our family history alive. It is wonderful. So in this guide, in this video, we will explore how to choose the best tools, organize your digital archive, and protect your research, okay, so that it lasts forever, regardless of what device you use or where you live. Okay, so let's jump in really quickly here. You can find us on familyhistoryfoundation.com, and I am here to guide you. So why cloud storage matters for family historians. So, we've all lost things in life, right? From our keys to our wallets, our credit cards. Imagine losing all your research. Now, if you're a seasoned genealogist or a researcher in any capacity, you'll have understood or experienced this at some point. If you haven't, you are a miracle, okay? But imagine losing everything that you've worked for in like a single computer crash. Now, I can go on about stories about this. This literally just happened to me like 6 months ago, okay? But imagine losing it in a computer crash or a house fire or flood. Okay, it happens often, more often than you think, and we're often not prepared for those things when they happen. And sort of, not to sort of bubble you over, but we can allay that, we can defer that, we can sort of, preserve your hard work and your ancestors' stories. And the way to do that right now, as I'm talking about, is basically cloud storage or digital storage of materials for others to share. Okay, so when we're talking about cloud storage, pretty simple concept, like our photos and other things that we already do. We're already a part of these things. We just sort of mold our genealogy into this. Automatic backups. We're talking about multi-device access. Okay, so where you share it on one device and it has an accessibility feature so others can sort of look at it and access those things, right? Long-term preservation. Okay, so these things can exist digitally for others to find in the future, right? Shareable links with family and other collaborators who you trust to have access to this information that can use this in a proper way. And when I say proper, okay, if you go head on over to Family History Foundation, I've written multiple pieces on what research standards are. And this is very important when you want to think about sharing, because sometimes information can be taken and used in inaccurate ways, or other times, maybe you want to have different levels of security where you have like, okay, for this ancestor, maybe not everybody gets it, or this bit of research, other people can have it. So you need to decide that, but not to overwhelm you at first, but really think about shareable links. Or just basically start with things. It's like, I don't mind everybody having. Put those up there and see how it goes. And perhaps most importantly, when it comes to cloud storage for genealogists, really gives you peace of mind knowing that stuff is where you want it to be. You can find it. And that's the other sort of measure of this is the facility of just knowing where your stuff is, okay? So not all cloud storage tools are created equal, But here are the must-haves. Here are the things that you really want. Okay. Now this is sort of aside from Ancestry, who of course, if you guys are on Ancestry.com like I am, with paid subscriptions, you can get your whole family tree up there, all the digital archives you want up there, and it's really quite fabulous. Although somewhat cumbersome in terms of how you would upload, but that's for a different video and that's for a different day. So we're talking about ample storage capacity. So these are the things that you must have when you're looking for cloud storage. Okay, ample storage capacity for large image files, videos, and even scanned documents. Okay, organizational features like folder structures, tags, and search functions, right? You want to not just want to plop everything into one database, right? You want to be able to organize that. Think about it like a cupboard, right? You're not going to throw all your dishes and cups and spoons into one drawer, right? We all have that one junk drawer at home, don't we? We want to have it organized so that you can find things. Okay, so tags are great because if you start tagging things, you can find things, various search functions, and play with that. Okay, security protocols are important, such as encryption, two-factor authentication if you want to sort of have and hold access to certain degrees. But that also makes you feel better, right? Like, these are kind of sacred objects at times, like picture of a gravestone or an ancestor that's a third great grandfather, grandmother. Like those are sort of kind of like, to me, sacred objects. Yeah. Collaborative opinions, so you can share files with relatives or researchers, kind of how like you might do in like Google Docs, where you can have editing mode or revision mode or suggestion mode, where people can go in there and comment with things. Also longevity and reputation, and kind of stick to companies that are likely to be around in 20 plus years. And this is important. I mean, seriously, that is like something that would give me a nightmare at night, like uploading it to a site, fly-by-night site, and you put all your stuff up there and then they disappear. So does all your pictures and research. So you don't want that. So I'm going to break that all down for you. So don't even worry about it. Okay. And so tools for cloud storage for genealogists. By the way, if you want to read this, because you're watching this, if you guys want to read this, head on over to familyhistoryfoundation.com. Link is in the bottom in the description, and you can read it. You'll have all the information if you want to go over it 10, 20, 30 times, share it with people, write it down, whatever you want to do. Okay, so, and I have notes accompanying, obviously. So Google Drive, Google's been pretty ridiculously good. I use it for work. I don't quite use it for storing all of my genealogy stuff on the cloud, as a disclaimer, because I use Ancestry and other sort of mechanisms for that, but I do use Google Drive for work and other things, and it's pretty awesome, I gotta say. So anybody that uses it, maybe you want to comment below and help other people out by just saying, yeah, it's good, or maybe like you don't like it, I don't know, share something that you may or may not like about it. Okay, but it's good with photos and it's super easy sharing. It's ubiquitous, which means it's everywhere. People have it, other people have it. Anyone that has a Gmail account gets access to it. Okay, and of course, lest we forget, there's not only Google Docs, there's Google Drive, there's all this other sort of stuff, right? Okay, which we're talking about now. So it requires a Google account. Less ideal for organizing large media libraries, and that's kind of true. You can organize a lot of stuff in there if you really want to. I think the layout may be a little bit off-putting, but it's certainly there. You can make folders and subfolders and all that sort of stuff. Okay, it's best for beginners who already are using Google products. I think it's just so, like, the inroads are already built into there, right? You just like, you're in the car and you're going. Okay, emotional bonus. You can view scanned things or letters or photos on your phone anytime. So that connection to just downloading stuff, having it on your laptop, your machine, and on your phone is really cool. Okay, Dropbox is another good one. It has a clean interface, powerful sync options, third-party integration, so you can use it with other platforms if you want to. Dropbox has always been this kind of secure thing. The cons is like the free storage is limited to 2 gigabytes. Not sure how much that can really give you in real world applications, but Dropbox is good, if you want to just send stuff and you want to have stuff stored. The advanced features require paid plans. Okay, this is best for researchers who want reliable backup and simple sharing options. iDrive, number 3 on the list out of our 5. Excellent for full system backups, affordable long-term plans, military-grade encryption. So, like, this is my sacred trove of things, and you want to have it sort of secured. Okay. Slightly steeper learning curve to get on iDrive, but it's users who want secure backups across multiple devices. So if you want that, yes, for sure. Backblaze B2 cloud storage. It has its own pros and cons as well. Designed for large-scale storage, cost-effective, ideal for long-term archiving, less intuitive for beginners. Tech-savvy genealogists with large photo archives, this is who it's best for. So if you're tech-savvy, which I think you would be as a modern genealogist, large photo or video archives, maybe you have that, and that's kind of a good thing too. I don't think Google Drive is as felicitous for that, but find out what you like. I sort of, again, go back to Ancestry, but forever.com is another one that's out there. Permanent storage with a one-time payment tailored for family history. Okay, cons, pricey up front, but designed for 100+ years of storage. Okay, I guess they're going to be around forever. .com. Legacy-minded genealogists, this is best for, who are focused on preservation over decades. Okay, well, right now, if you're starting your online research and maybe you're just sort of wanting to choose something, I'm going to get into steps to creating everything, but if you want to sort of dig in a little bit more to what we have available on familyhistoryfoundation.com, head on over there. I've written a comprehensive genealogy research online guide. Like, this is the best way. If you want to if you're a beginner, even if you're a mediocre genealogist, sort of getting your feet wet, expanding, the tips and stuff I have in there are just basically will get you leveled up. It's a different framework and way of looking at genealogy to sort of enhance your knowledge just behind, dates and names and all that sort of stuff and plopping them in trees. So it's more of a methodology that you can use, and something that I've promulgated and use myself, which is why I wrote it, because it's based on a lot of my successful techniques, and I give you examples throughout there. So if you want to check it out, check it out. Now, how to organize your digital archive. Okay, so you've picked the platform. So you've picked the platform, great. Let's just say we're going to go with Google Drive. Easy one to pick, okay? Now the real magic begins, okay? Cloud storage for genealogists and the organizational techniques below that I'm going to cover should get you on your way to enable you to set up, start sharing, and keep archiving. And as I like to offer people, don't worry and don't stress out over the tech. I'm a person who works in tech, so to speak, and it's easy for me. It always has been. I have family members who struggle with tech and stuff like that. And when I say tech, it's just getting in and accessing things. Sometimes it can be off-putting for people. So don't stress out over that. Absolutely not. And I have plenty of other articles on my site for you linked in the post if you go and read the post online, and suggested articles at the very end. So step 1, okay, create a family tree folder structure. Okay, so this is kind of key, and also remember that this folder structure will probably change over time. So make it something that you're not like 100% like, okay, this has to be like this forever. Okay, if you're a planner like me, even if you're an ultra planner like me, it's going to change, because any good plan is flexible. Okay, so organize your folder structure by generation, by surname, or location. Okay, start with that. I like to start with places because I like to know where my family came from. Like my Tennessee family, my England family, right? Where they came from, where they moved from, right? But because people moved a lot back in the days, right, that's not going to be enough. So you have to have surnames, right? So family from my mother's side, right, when they moved from Virginia to Texas, for example, it's like you're going to want to track those names as they move. And of course, the families that they married into, right? Or when they came from the old world to the new world, if they went from the East Coast to the West Coast, and how surnames get passed on through the male generation. And through maiden names, they might not get passed on. So location, cross-referencing surname, generation, of course, you want to go back, right, from your generation back, second generation, grandparents, great-grandparents, da-da-da-da-da. Also know and realize not many people sort of sit there and think about the fact that as we go back, every generation doubles. Okay, so that's a lot of people. You go back 10 generations, right, you have like 1,000 people already in your family tree. So there's a lot. That can be a lot. Okay. And 10 generations might take you back 350 years or so. Okay. So keeping that coordinated should be your prime sort of in. Okay. And you can always expand the folder structure out. Scan and save. Step 2. Okay. Step 1, create a family tree. Folder structure. Step 2, scan and save. This is where the footwork comes in, the legwork. If you can, use a high quality scanner and save images in TIFF, which take up a lot of file space. So if you want to use that, they're the best format to use, or high-res JPEG formats. Okay, you can always make sure you preserve the originals, but TIFF files are going to take up an inordinate amount of space and may not always be transferable. Okay, but always keep the originals. If you don't have access to a scanner, hey, use your phone. What I've done in the past is you can buy a cheap phone mount, like a holder on Amazon somewhere, that you can just plop your phone on, and then it sits horizontal, and you can just take pictures. As long as it stays steady, you can adjust it, and you can take pretty good photos. Make sure the lighting around you is good, no shadows and stuff like that. But that's a really cheap way to kind of just get a scanner. Okay, I've invested in my own scanner, and I use it all the time to just scan stuff. Okay, so scan and save, scan and save. Now step 2 obviously feeds into step 1. Okay, you're going to scan and save, and then you're going to put it into those organizational pockets, I guess. Okay, now step 3, tag and describe. Okay, when you scan things, that's cool, right? Your scanner's just going to produce some alphanumeric file name, right? Maybe a date, most likely, right? But that's not enough. You want to edit the file names. It's super cumbersome, but it will actually help you save so much time. Okay, and so include metadata or notes in your file, in your description fields, which means, right, if you're organizing by location and date, I would start by just like maybe making a 3-part hyphenated name to your file, like surname hyphen location hyphen date, or any of those 3, and you can put them in different orders: date, surname, location, whatever. Okay, but so that's what I would do, and that's what I often do. Okay, and quickly editing the file names is a secret weapon of mine. Okay, so do it while you're in the moment. Label the file according to name or what is suggested in step 1. Step 4, okay, back it up again. Yep, even if you stored it in the cloud, consider an external drive as a secondary backup. Okay, this is also super important to do because, hey, as I always say, redundancy is key. And I have articles on my blog, familyhistoryfoundation.com, talking about research redundancy. That's what I call it. Okay. And I carry this over from my work where I have to have research redundancy. Okay. And I have horror stories that I could tell you. Take it from me. When you're feeling the inkling, back it up. If anyone has losing data storage backup horror stories, please share them to scare other people into doing the right thing. I like to say that because, sometimes it's those lessons that take us years to recover from that are the best ones to pass on. So back it up again. Okay, so we're going to take a little break right here, and online I have a fun quiz, and I'm going to share this quiz with you right now. And the quiz is, what type of digital genealogist are you? Okay, so take a moment, let's go through these questions and see what your cloud storage habits say about your family history style. Okay, so we have 3 questions, and from those results, I'm going to give you the answer of what you are, okay? This is your personality profile, okay? Question 1. Sit here, answer these questions with me. How do you organize your photos? A, chronologically. B, by surname. C, I just throw them all together in a folder. Or D, haven't started yet. Okay, got your answer? Good. Number 2, again, 3 questions. Question 2, how often do you back up your research? A, weekly. B, monthly. C, once a year, cough, cough. D, wait, backups? Which means you never back up, okay? How often do you back up your research? Write your answer down. Okay, log your answer somewhere. Now, question 3. Which best describes your cloud storage situation? A, fully organized, all files tagged. B, half organized, still uploading a lot of it. C, scattered across apps. Okay. And D, well, I haven't uploaded a thing. Now, the key is to be honest with these, okay? Don't answer what you think you want to be. Answer where you are. Okay, are you ready? Do you have your A's, B's, and C's? Okay. Now, the results show if you're mostly A's, you are the archivist. You are the digital gold standard. And by the way, thank you. That's what I got. Mostly B's, you are the builder. You're laying solid foundations, which is good. Hey, keep going. Mostly C's, you are the creative. You love the story. So now let's work on the structure. Okay, but that's good. You have the creative ability. You love it. Now we got to get to working on the structure. Okay, mostly D's is the dreamer. Okay, which is, hey, no shame. It's time to take the first step and get involved in this. Okay, great. Okay, let's talk a few real life use cases here. And these are a couple examples very quickly to kind of help inspire you. Sandra's shoebox journey. Sandra inherited 5 shoeboxes filled with photos. And this has happened to me, so I get Sandra's journey here. After scanning them and uploading them to forever.com, she was able to create digital scrapbooks and share them with cousins she had never met. Using cloud storage for genealogists allowed her to preserve fragile originals and reconnect her extended family. I relate to this so much because this actually happened to me. Between letters that were in a shoebox that were kept for years and years and years between my mother and my aunt, who is my cousin's mom. So my mom and my aunt had all these letters, and now we have them digitized, okay? But this could be you. And I understand sometimes a hesitancy that there might be, upload stuff on the cloud. However, I think that our fact that our physical media is deteriorating on a daily basis in humidity, compression under the weight of other documents and, boxes and bags and stuff like that, they lose their glory, man. They lose the pristineness of the image that we want to preserve. They get roached, they get cracked, things like that. And simply being neglected. They're just sitting there. What are they doing? What are they doing in a box in the dark? Don't neglect your ancestors, okay? Learn from Sandra's shoebox journey, okay? What about Jake's military records? Jake used Backblaze to store over 1,000 military records. He built a website for his family and linked to a secure archive accessible to veterans and descendants around the world. How cool would that be? Okay, it enabled him to create a searchable, shareable history that lives on, not just for him, for other military vets, which is, come on, we got to salute Jake. And I've always said, speaking of duty, it is our duty to preserve our family history as a legacy for those that got us into genealogy, okay? And if it wasn't for them, and I'm so thankful for this every day, we wouldn't be doing this. So, likewise, be a mentor to a future family member by preserving our history in the digital realm. Elena's recipe archive, okay? It can be simple. It doesn't have to be something super complex. Elena digitized her grandmother's handwritten recipes and uploaded them, okay? She now shares them with her siblings through family archives. And this is something I've been endeavoring to do because where are those family recipes for those soups and those great things that we love? Once our elders disappear, I think we have to preserve not only the recipes, but the pots and pans that those recipes were made in. I think that energy lives in there, okay? But even a simple recipe can be of benefit. I mean, my goodness, who doesn't like food? You can just share that, okay? So I've really, really benefited personally from all of these little sharings. And I really wouldn't be the genealogist and family historian I am without people reaching out, family members just saying, hey, I found a photo of our third great grandfather, or anything. And I like to do that and give back. I've been on cemetery journeys where I've uploaded photos of an entire small family cemetery so that others within our family can actually enjoy those family photos. Hey, and their family relatives are on those headstones, and I'm just makes me so proud to be able to do that for people. So we have backlinks from our archives. We have a lot of stuff up there on familyhistoryfoundation.com, from how to organize your family history documents, top 5 sites for free genealogy research, genealogy research habits that save time, so on and so forth. Okay, but it's worth noting we're preserving not just documents, but the emotional power of memory. And this is like, you got to take a note and take a second and think about that digitizing documents and storing them in the cloud isn't just practical, it's deeply emotional. And the moment you open a scan letter from a great grandparent or flip through high-res images of photo albums long forgotten, the past becomes vivid and alive. Yeah, it's more than tech. It's a time machine that carries love, legacy, and lineage across lifetimes. And that's why I do what I do here. So if you want more, you can follow more genealogy tips and tutorials. Linked to Instagram and Pinterest. I put all my stuff up there, but primarily through familyhistoryfoundation.com. So I'm going to issue you guys a final challenge before I let you go. Okay, one final challenge, and I want you to think about this. Use the comment section. What is in your digital time capsule? Okay, you're going to create a digital time capsule, and this is a challenge here. Here's your mission. Okay, pick one document or photo that means the world to you and upload it into your cloud storage today. So bonus points if you tag it, write a short story about it, and share it with a loved one. Okay, so that's your mission. Pick that document, upload it, write a short story, tag it, and share it with a loved one. You get some bonus points. Okay, then drop a comment below. What item did you choose and why? What did you choose? Why did you choose it? What was your connection, right? Because it has to be a photo that means the world to you. It's the connection between family history and memory and emotion, okay? And also, don't forget, subscribe to our newsletter, weekly tips, prompts, inspiration to keep your family history journey alive and vibrant and meaningful. And this is all over at familyhistoryfoundation.com. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for listening. All right. Love you guys.